Hello, welcome back to my channel. We're talking rosé today. This is my summer drink that I go to. But why do we drink more rosé in the summer than any other time of the year? There's nothing quite like a nice, chilled, cold glass of rosé sitting in the sun. Pop some ice cubes in if you like to drink wine with ice cubes in. Pop some sparkling water in if you fancy a rosé spritzer. But let's not beat around the bush. Rosé is now back in fashion. Go up to London, rosé is absolutely everywhere. I was in New York recently. That's all they drank was rosé. I was astonished about what wine they drank in major cities. What is rosé though? Well, technically, it is a red wine. You can only make rosé from red grapes. Skin contact, that's all it comes down to. Skins, as long as they're more in contact with the juice, the longer they are, the darker the rosé, the less contact in the juice, the lighter the rosé. Rosé is pretty much made every country now around the world. India now making rosé. Brazil makes some amazing stuff as well, sparkling rosé out there as well. Yeah, every country pretty much now making some decent rosé. But there's lots of different types of rosé we can get out now on the supermarkets. We can get our bone dry, easy, crisp rosé. Or if we prefer, we can go down the more sort of sweet style Zinfandel rosé from places like California. So it does really give you a nice wide range of flavours. So, you know, we should be able to find a rosé for everyone's palate out there. I've got two cracking ones for you today. We're going to go down to the south of France and we're going to go to the Languedoc region, one of my favourite areas for rosé. We'll tell you a little bit more about that one in a minute. And then, of course, I've had to stay at home. We've got a really decent English rosé from Kent, Chapel Down Winery. Oh come on, I had to pick an English wine, an English rosé especially. You know, we're making absolutely amazing wines. Like I said in previous episodes, let's go out and support English wine as much as we possibly can. So can you make rosé by tipping a little bit of red wine into white wine? Well, you can do that at home if you like. If you're caught doing it anywhere else, you can get severely fined and even imprisonment. There's only one place in Europe that you are allowed to blend white and red wine together, and that's the most iconic region of Champagne. This is where they get rosé champagne from. But no, the only time you can do that is in Champagne. If you want to make a rosé, you have to leave the skins in the juice. You need to get that skin contact. As I said, the lighter the wine you want, the less contact time with the skins. The darker you want your rosé, the more contact time. You don't get much flavour, if any flavour, out the skins. Remember, flavour only comes from the juice of the grapes. So the skin is really only for the colour of the wine that you want to make. So what grape varieties can you use in making rosé? Well, for a very long time, people never even heard of red Zinfandel before. They'd only just used to see it on bottles of rosé, especially from places like California. But if you know your grape varieties, you know that Zinfandel is one of the most big, full-bodied red wines in the world. Absolutely amazing, really, really good style of red wine. The two wines we're going to be tasting today have got lots of red grape varieties in here. We've got a Cinsault, we've got a Syrah. Syrah is a Shiraz. And then for the English wine, we've got a Pinot Noir in there, Pinot Meunier. So there are a couple of grape varieties that they use in Champagne, for instance. But yeah, you know, you can pretty much use a lot of red grape varieties to make a rosé. But when you've got an amazing red grape variety, you want to make a wine that makes amazing flavours and taste. So you want to keep it as a red wine. You don't really want to start turning them into rosés. A lot of vineyards and winemakers around the world actually make rosé with smaller yields and smaller crops, just as another wine to add to their selection. But these two look great, so let's have a little taste and see how we go. So for our first rosé, we're going to go down to the south of France and we're going to go to the Languedoc region. Amazing region actually. For a very long time, not many people heard about them. They would go to Bordeaux, Loire, Burgundy, Champagne. But actually, in recent years, the Languedoc are making some absolute cracking wines. very well known for rosé. Don't forget south of France, if you've ever been there on holiday, a really nice warm Mediterranean climate, very sort of cool nights, mild winters, so pretty good for growing grapes. Rainfall's quite low, so there's no chance of getting any sort of noble rot on the grapes. But when you're in the south of France and you're on the beach, and what better glass of wine to have than a nice chilled rosé, especially a local rosé from the area. This is Laurent Miguel's Rosé 2019. So really young, really fresh and vibrant. Oh yeah, you can definitely smell that on the aroma. But he had a bit of a funny career. He never actually intended to become a winemaker. He actually went to Paris and he got an engineering degree. He actually ended up in England and in the car industry. Even though the vineyards had been in his family for about 8 generations, they planted their first vines in 1791. Anyway, he realised that engineering wasn't his passion, so he ended up going back to France and he planted his first vintage in 1996. So even though a little while ago, that's still quite new for a winemaker to come in, but they're making some absolutely amazing wine. I know these guys because in my previous job we used to import their white and their red, and it used to be like one of our staple wines on a wine list. But let's have a little taste. Wow, and again it's just super chilled. That's the best way to drink rosé, I think. Wow, it's again, tannins are really low. Strawberries, raspberries, absolutely full of flavour. Very easy drinking. I wouldn't say it's a full-bodied rosé, extremely dry, but it does leave your mouth salivating. So, yeah, really good. These are the sort of wines and rosés you can definitely drink on their own. But we'll talk a little bit later about food matching. But wow, yeah, really good. And the colour on these wines. I mean, straight away, I can tell that skin contact was probably a mere few hours. To me, this is a classic style rosé. Yeah, I could easily finish the rest of that bottle. I probably will. Oh, really good. And then let's go over now. Oh, let's try to say go over. Let's go down to Kent, and let's try their rosé at 2018. So it is a little bit older than the French rosé, but as you've seen in previous episodes, 2018 was one of the hottest summers on record in the UK. It's going to be the benchmark year for all English wines. It's an absolute cracking year. Wow, extremely different to the rosé from France. It's got lots of sort of stewed fruits actually. A little bit like a jam, like a plum jam. Oh, very interesting. Oh, they're extremely light. Again, just so easy drinking. I think it's got a huge amount of flavour, lots of in-depth flavour in this one. Strawberries and cream coming through a little bit on the palate. But yeah, definitely really lots of red fruits and stewed fruits, and not sort of ripe red fruits, but stewed fruits. Apple in there. It's now leaving a little bit of sweetness. So if you do prefer your more sort of sweeter style rosés, probably head towards more the English style than the southern France. But yeah, brilliant. And there's not, there's a reason why I chose Chapel Down. It was the first English vineyard I went to visit. Quite a few years ago now. We did a tour of the winery. We went through their vines. They've got an amazing restaurant there as well. They've got a great shop, so you can stock up on all your wines. They've got some great merchandise as well. T-shirts and hats if you're into that sort of thing. But Chapel Down really did sort of plough their way in making English wine on the map. They're the biggest winery in the UK. They're not just making still wines, their sparkling stuff has won awards all over the world. If you can get hold of any, try and find their Blanc de Blanc 2010. Absolutely amazing, amazing sparkling wine. Not just wines, you know, they've branched out now into beers and cider as well. Spirits, they do a gin and a vodka. So not just the wine, but just to build a brand and to build a business, to, you know, to keep it self-sustained and to, you know, and to employ hundreds of people in the business as well. They've really, really gone from strength to strength. And a lot of other wineries around the UK are sort of taking note about what places like Chapel Down are doing, and, you know, really trying to implement that into their vineyards and into their wineries as well. Rosé, a few great varieties in here actually, mainly Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. It's got Bacchus in there as well, which is a cracking white wine on its own. A little bit of Chardonnay as well. But yeah, again, even though it's still a quite light rosé, it's definitely had a few more hours skin contact than our first rosé we tried. But this is, you know, this is a summer UK English, you know, garden countryside picnic. This is everything you want from an English summer in a glass. Yeah, really good, you know, absolutely amazing. Okay, let's find out what sort of food these wines will pair with. So even these are technically red wines, what sort of food would you pair with this style of wine? Well, for me, the Southern Rosé, actually sushi. So some raw fish actually goes really, really well with a dry, crisp Southern French Rosé. But also, don't remember, if you're going to be drinking these in the summer, then we're going to be having summer food. So some salads, tuna niçoise, for instance, amazing dry, crisp rosé. You can also have these with your lighter meats, your chicken, your pork. So barbecue, you know, we're all having barbecues in the summer, as long as we have a decent British summer. So yeah, rosé with barbecue meats go really well. The English wines are a little bit more sweeter, a little bit more in depth, so could probably stand up to some dishes that do have a little bit more flavour. So maybe even something like lamb, veal, venison, dessert. I think, you know, it's got that sweetness in here, so let's match it. Oh, chocolate. Matching this with some sort of chocolate dessert. Because you've got all like the strawberries and cream in there, then, you know, who doesn't like chocolate and strawberries? But don't forget, you know, these are rosés, you know, we can just happily drink them on their own, sensibly, mind you. Don't want to have any complaints on the show. But most importantly, let's check out the prices. Okay, so prices then. Don't forget, we do have an English wine. So if you have checked out any of my other episodes, you do realise that that is a premium product. But both of these are available at Waitrose. Start off with the Lauren Miguel Rosé, $6.99. Absolute bargain for a real nice dry Southern French wine. And you know, these are absolutely amazing styles of wine from that region as well. Great example. English wine, $12.99. So yeah, we are going up in budget, but come on, the English wine, no one else makes rosé like this in the world. Yeah, so maybe a more of a special occasion sort of style wine, or, you know, if you're having friends and family over for dinner, but, you know, we are still going to be paying premium prices because it is a premium product. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on rosé. The sun has come out. I'm going to go enjoy these in the garden, sensibly. If you've got any questions about any other styles of rosé, go over and follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. Or please subscribe to the channel. We've got a few more good episodes coming up. We're going to do a feature-length episode very soon about America. So that'd be a good one to watch. Until then, guys, stay safe. Cheers.